now we have the future value of $7,000 invested for 3 years at a rate compounded annually is given by this formula. S is the future value. Future value equals 7,000 times 1 plus R raised to the third power. So we've got a bunch of questions to ask about this, A through, I think we're only going through C. Complete the table below and determine the future value at certain interest rates. So we want to know the future value when the interest rate is 4%, 5%, 7.25%, and 10.5%. So I used my calculator to do that. All I need to do here is plug each of these R values into my equation to figure these future values out. So I went to my calculator to make use of my table, and in my Y equals, I put my function, my 7,000 times 1 plus X to the third power. Then I go to my table and I let the table plug these numbers in. Remember, you've got to change the percents to the decimal forms. But once you do that, you put in your table 0.04, 0.05, 0.0725, and 0.105. So when you put those in, there you get your future value amounts. So let's see here. Can I keep that? Well, I'll still fit on the screen. It's not focused very well. But for 4%, it would be $7,874. For 5%, oh, I can't see that whole number, the entire number. Notice how the calculator rounds it off to make it fit on the screen. When it does that, look, move your cursor over to highlight that number, and then look down here at the bottom and you'll be able to see the whole number, because we want to round it to the nearest hundredth, which would correspond to the nearest cent. So for 5%, we'll get $8,103.38. For 7.25%, we get $8,635.49. I'm sorry, 59 cents. 55 cents. I'm getting my decimal point wrong there. 55 cents. And then for the last one, again, I highlight it and then look down at the bottom. I get for 10.5%, $9,444.63. Then graph this function. Now here it gives you a window, and choose the correct graph. Okay. So I set up my window on my calculator like they have, and that's the graph I got. All these graphs kind of have the same shape. Let me see if I can get it to show you more of mine. There we go. We can see our options and my calculator. All of these have the same shape, kind of like that line going up. This one's a little too flat. I can rule that one out. This one might be close to it. This one looks pretty close to it. This one I can rule out because this one is ending down closer to the middle of the screen, where on my screen it's ending up at the top of the screen. So I'll rule that one out too. And then I'll look a little bit more closely at these other two. The main difference in these other two graphs is where they start. This one's starting about the middle of the screen. This one's starting a little bit lower. So if you compare, even if you count, it tells you what numbers you can put in for your scale. If you count these y values, you'll see that the option that corresponds to what I got in my calculator is option B. Now, the next question, find the rate for which the future value is $8,817.98. That means I just want to solve that equation. I want to set my rate, I want to set my future value formula equal to $8,817.98. So there's my future value formula. I just set it equal to 88.1798. So to solve that, I want to get that power part by itself. So I can do my square root, my cube roots here. So I'm going to divide by 7,000. Now when I divide by 7,000, I don't really get a pretty number. That's okay. Keep that whole decimal in your calculator, because the next step you're going to do is take the cube root of that. When you take the cube root of both sides, the cube root of the 1 plus r cubed gives you just 1 plus r. So then the last step to solving it is to subtract 1 from both sides. So when I round that off, that rounds off to 8%.